In our manufacturing setting at Acme Manufacturing, in the division where we are making rocket skates, we determined that our cost function was 100x plus 3,000, where x represents the number of pairs of rocket skates we're making, and our revenue function was 250x. 100x, the 100, represents the cost per pair, the unit cost. Every pair of rocket skates we make costs $100, plus $3,000 worth of fixed costs. And then we sell each pair for $250. You didn't realize that coyotes were as well-heeled as they were. You didn't realize they had as much money as they do. Maybe it's government subsidies. Maybe they're on the endangered species list and the government subsidizes them or something so that they can get their food. I'm not sure how they have that kind of money to buy those rocket skates and anvils and all the other good stuff they buy from Acme Manufacturing. Well, when you're dealing with cost and revenue, one of the functions additionally that you want to create is a profit function. Profit is equal to your revenue minus your cost. So we can create a profit function from our revenue and cost functions. We'll simply replace R of x and C of x with their expressions. R of x is equal to 250x minus, now if I want to subtract the entire cost, this cost function consists of two terms. Wouldn't I have to put those terms in parentheses to show that I was subtracting both of those terms from this term? I'm subtracting the entire cost from the revenue. Removing that set of parentheses produces this profit function for me. My profit function, P of x, is equal to 150x minus 3,000. Now, I think it's pretty easy to see where the 150 came from. We're selling them at $250 a piece. They cost us $100 a piece, so aren't we making $150 for every pair that we make? And look at why this 3,000 is being subtracted. Before you actually start having a profit, don't you have to make enough skates so that this quantity offsets the $3,000 in fixed costs that you have every day? And once this number gets to be bigger than 3,000 because you're making the right number of pairs, which we know what that is, don't we? Isn't that the break-even point? Doesn't this show us again that the break-even point is 20 pairs? 20 times 150 would be 3,000. 3,000 minus 3,000 is 0. If we break even, we have no profit. But once we get past that figure of 20, we could use this function to determine what our profit amount would be. For instance, let's suppose on a given day we made 23 pairs of rocket skates and sold them. We could use our profit function by substituting 23 for x. We could use our profit function to determine what the profit would have been that day in the rocket skates division of Acme Manufacturing. So if we take our calculator, 150 times 23 minus 3,000, there would have been a profit for making and selling 23 pairs of rocket skates. There would have been a profit of $450. Let's suppose on a given day we made and sold 12 pairs of rocket skates. Can we use our profit function to figure out what the profit would be there? Certainly. Put in 12 for x. X represents the number of pairs of rocket skates that we are making and selling. So what's going to be our profit if we make and sell 12 pairs? Well, 150 times 12 minus 3,000 equals, negative 1,200. What is the fact that that's a negative quantity telling us? Well, it's telling us we didn't make money, we lost money. We actually had a $1,200 loss for that day. Now, we should have known that it was going to be a loss, because the break-even point, again, was what? It was 20 pairs of rocket skates. It took 20 pairs to counterbalance the $3,000. And if we only made 12 pairs, we didn't make enough pairs to cover our costs. So yes, we're not going to have a profit, we're going to have a loss. But even our profit function is valuable in that instance because it enables us to quickly figure out the amount that that loss would have been. So if you have a revenue function and a cost function, from those functions you can calculate the profit function and use it to answer questions that might be of interest to, say, someone in management at Acme Manufacturing,